Okay, so let's journey back to November 1970. We're in this remote Norwegian valley, a place the locals ominously call Ice Valley. And it's here that a discovery was made that kicked off a mystery that, even now, more than 50 years later, is still completely unsolved. We're talking about one of Europe's most baffling, most disciplined cold cases, the Isdal Woman.
And this quote, man, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures what makes this case so different. Usually, when a body is found, the whole point is to piece together a story. But here, it was the exact opposite. What they found was a body that had been used to, well, to erase a story.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in the Isdal Valley. A body has just been discovered, but the scene itself, yeah, it's about to raise way more questions than it answers.
So picture this. The scene wasn't chaotic at all. In fact, it was the opposite. It was deliberate, almost like it was staged. Her body was surrounded by personal items. But here's the kicker. Every single thing was burned. Her passport, her clothes, anything, and I mean anything, that could possibly identify her was just meticulously destroyed. It's just chillingly methodical.
And this is what's just so bizarre about it all. You know, when investigators show up to a scene like this, they expect to find chaos, a mess. But here, it was all order. They expect to find an identity, but what they found was a complete void. This was no crime of passion. This was a cleanup operation, plain and simple.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Whoever this woman was, she didn't just lose her identity. It wasn't stolen from her. The evidence points to something far more deliberate. It was an execution of her entire past. Okay, so the investigation starts to pick up steam when police stumble upon two suitcases in a train station luggage locker. But inside, they don't find an identity. No, they find something much stranger. They find the tools used to create and discard identities.
I mean, look at this. She's checking into hotels all over Norway, but using a different name every single time. She's paying for everything in cash, no paper trail. She's constantly asking to change rooms. And get this, she meticulously cut all the labels out of her clothes. This isn't just someone being a little private, right? This is a clear, deliberate pattern. Every single one of these actions is a step designed to make her impossible to trace.
When you lay it all out like this, it starts to look less like a bunch of random paranoid actions and more like, well, like a procedure. It's like a how to become a ghost manual. Step 1, create aliases. Step 2, only use cash. Step 3, remove all tags. Step 4, have 0 personal contacts. This wasn't improvised on the fly. This was a system.
And that's the real takeaway here. This level of discipline, this forethought, it goes way beyond just being scared or paranoid. This isn't paranoia. This is training. Professional, methodical training. The kind of stuff spies are taught.
And this all leads us to what is, for me, the most unsettling part of this entire story, the absolute deafening silence from her past.
So what about witnesses? Well, their testimony only made things weirder. Hotel staff said she could just switch between languages, effortlessly. One minute she's speaking fluent German, the next it's native-level French, and then some pretty decent English. So was she French, German? You just couldn't tell. She was like a linguistic chameleon, making it even harder to pin down where she was from.
So, the official search gets underway. First up, fingerprints. Investigators run them through every international database they can get their hands on. And the result? Absolutely 0. Not a single match.
Okay, so no criminal record. But surely someone was looking for her, right? A family member? A concerned friend? Police scoured missing persons reports all across Europe. And again, nothing. 0 matches.
And think about this. This case got global press coverage. For months, for years, her face and story were out there, and not a single person, not one, ever came forward to say, that's my mom, or that's my sister, or I know her. It's just a complete and total void.
Just take a second and really think about what that means. To live an entire adult life for decades and to leave 0 emotional footprint, to have absolutely no one in the entire world notice that you are gone. To me, that is the single most disturbing detail of this entire case.
So where does all this leave us? I mean, how do you even begin to explain such a complete, total erasure of a person? Well, there are a few theories out there,
but one of them seems to fit the strange facts of this case far, far better than any of the others. Okay, let's look at the big three theories. Could it have been suicide? Well, they did find sleeping pills, but it seems really unlikely. I mean, why go to all that trouble to erase your identity first? Then there's assassination. It's possible, for sure, but it was so quiet, so unclaimed. That leaves us with the Cold War espionage theory. And honestly, it aligns almost perfectly with her training, her methods, and her incredible discipline.
And you have to remember, context is everything here. This was Norway in the 1970s, right at the height of the Cold War. You've got a NATO country right on the border of the Soviet Union. The place was an absolute hotbed for spies and intelligence operations. For someone with her skill set to be there at that time, it makes a terrifying amount of sense.
So ultimately, all of this forces us to kind of step back and reframe what this mystery is even about. You know, with pretty much every true crime case, we ask the same question: who did it? But this case? This one pushes us to ask something much, much darker.
The question becomes, how completely can a person erase themselves? And, maybe more importantly, who helped them do it? See, it's not just about her anymore. It's about the kind of systems, the kind of organizations that can create a person who basically doesn't exist. It suggests that to become a true ghost, you need help.
And that leads us to this final, chilling thought. If she was an intelligence agent, if she was a spy, then this entire mystery isn't a failure of the investigation. It's the ultimate success of her mission. The goal was to leave no answers, no accountability, no trace. And in that, she succeeded. Perfectly. Because here's the ultimate irony, right? After more than 50 years, we are all still saying her name. A name that, in all likelihood, she never even had. By making herself impossible to know, she became unforgettable. In the end, she won.